Hey guys, RC here. Well, it is almost opening day on another Major League Baseball season. And of course, that means it is opening day for a new release from Out of the Park Developments. They are a small, relatively small um, video game developer, and they produce a couple of games. And so, what I want to do is I'm going to put out a couple of videos, uh, kind of going through the game. This is just kind of a hey, the game released today, literally released within the last couple of hours. And so I just got home, wanted to put the video out. So this will come out today, and then over the next few days, I'll probably try to play a little bit, check out some of the new things, and then do a kind of a review. As always, I try to be transparent with you guys. I did get this game for free through the developer. I have been a long time user of their games, and I have bought their games. I go back to version 3. So now they're on version 19. So I didn't get my first free copy till last year. So, hey, I've bought a lot of games from them. But first off, let's take a look at their website. And so this is their website. I'll put the link down in the video description. But they're known for Out of the Park Baseball, which is based on, of course, baseball. They also put out a hockey game called Franchise Hockey Manager. So if you're into hockey, check that out. But OOTP19 released today. Currently, it is on sale, 10% off through the end of the month, I believe, is what I saw. And it has not released on Mac yet, but that should be coming out in the next week. I think I saw that. So, in fact, let's see. I saw a couple of posts there. But anyway, let's get into the game itself, the release. So, what's new? It's if you've played any games, and a lot of you guys are on my channel because of Football Manager, very similar to Football Manager that has a new release every year. So they basically take the same game, they tweak it, they enhance it, they add a few new things to it, and some features have more leaps forward than other games. So I'm not in a position right now because I have not even loaded the game to look at it. I have it open, but I haven't looked at it yet. I figured we would do that together. But here's what they say is new in their official release in the newsletter. So 3D features have been a big push in this feature. If you play 3D, I typically don't. So I won't get the bang for the buck there. But oh well. Advanced player models, improved on-field movements for an even better view of the action. Run, slide, jump, throw, more realistic routes to the batted ball. So in a 3D in the 3D display, very similar to what we see in Football Manager 18, for example, they tried to beef up and enhance the like the goalkeeper movements to where they weren't so jerky and didn't make sense from a physics standpoint. So that kind of sounds what they're doing here. As always, like last year, they paid out the bucks to Major League Baseball to be officially licensed with Major League Baseball, so they can use their actual player names, rosters, logos. So you no longer have to bring those in with mods. You can bring those come with the game. They will have the real opening day rosters. So Houston Astros, LA Dodgers, you name it. All right, let's see. A new scouting system and updated scouting reports. So we'll pull up a player card here, but they have been completely rewritten, giving you a more detailed look at your players with a focus on the most important aspects that you care about. Your scouts deliver information in clear and targeted ways. So let's take a look here. This is a player card. So you've got the player picture, the team logo up here. this is new. They've moved. These are awards. This used to be down here, going across in version 18. So that's new. I wonder if it goes to multiple lines or what that does if they turn out to be a huge stud. So here's Steven Strasburg, one of a 29-year-old starting pitcher. He's making $15 million a year, and it gives you his baseball card information. You have the game log down here, so his last few starts for the season, what he's projected, and his last 3 years. And you could usually scroll down on that if there's a couple more. You have your ratings. So for a pitcher, it's stuff, movement, control, and then the types of pitches that he has. Some pitchers will only have 1 or 2. Some have 3. Some have 4. Some might even have a 5th pitch. And it gives you their current and their potential. So, this is a fog of war type thing. And there's settings that you can play with that, you can actually hide this to where you don't know this information. That's called stats only or a semi-stats only. You have the star rating system. So a lot of information here. It does, it's basically the same stuff that I'm used to seeing in the game. Just a little bit different layout, a little bit different coloration, just kind of trying to liven it up a little bit. So that looks all right. And let's see, I want to close that. And let's open this one. All right, so here is your stat leaderboard. So we're looking right now at the batting average leader, your top 7 players. You get the picture and the stats for your top player. So this would be Xander Bogaerts from Boston. Chris Davis from Baltimore leads the league with 8 home runs. Adrian Beltre, 19 RBIs from Texas. And you can change that based on what you're looking for. So again, very similar, a little bit different layout, a little bit different coloration, but that's, very small minor tweaks, but they're still interesting. Here is the scouting history, I think. Let's see. Yep, scouting. So again, the baseball card information. This gives their scouting history. Now, this can vary depending on what you use in the game. You can actually turn scouting off. You can have the fog of war turned on, things of that nature. But basically, at certain points of the year, the players will get re-scouted. So you can look at his fastball ratings. Oh, I'm sorry, that's FBL, the league name. But you can see his stuff, his movement, control, velocity. And I can look back now all the way back to January of 2018 from February 27th, 2023 in this example. And I can see that his stuff actually got better, dropped, picked up, really went down, and then it's going up again. He hasn't lost any velocity, and you can use that information to determine, maybe a player's starting to lose it, things of that nature. Same thing here, just a different player, same pitcher. The hitters have their own information, so not anything different from what I'm used to seeing. Just maybe I think the graphs might be new. So you can kind of see that graphically if you're into that. But that is what's going on there. Ultra realistic AI and ratings. One of the drawbacks or complaints about most games is the AI. It's too hard. It's too easy. How do we tweak it to make it better? So they say that they have tweaked some of the AI stuff. So for better decision making, based on the latest trends in the sport, double switches, starter and closer usage in the playoffs, trades, and much more. It can also handle unique players such as those with excellent hitting and pitching abilities, such as Ohtani, the guy coming over from Japan that signed with the Angels this year. So And as an Angels fan, I'm looking forward to seeing him. Not sure we got a good deal there, but it is what it is. Tournament mode, user voting for end of season awards. These are good that, in solo play, you can vote for them yourself. In an online league, then you could turn that on and have voting in the game rather than having to do that off game. That'll be actually pretty nice. Redesigned interfaces, the screens. And then here's a list, and you can read most of this. Let's just kind of scan through it. Custom team logos for fictional leagues. 800 logos already come in the game. And it's usually pretty easy to add to the database if you have some that you want to add in yourself. Improved manager home screen, new widget options, a new stat for pitchers. WAR based on runs allowed per 9. Okay, that is a new stat. Haven't even seen that before. Delayed substitutions for injured player. 6 different interface fonts. I did read that one of the versions does not have that yet, but it will be coming out in the first patch, and I'll see if we can find that while we're talking here. Anyway, don't want this to run super long. Let's just kind of blow through this here. Recoded mini screens. Added a flag for the user gender. You can lock the league total stats. Oh, that way you're not fluctuating from a hit and run stolen base type league to a long ball league, and then you can stay in one mode if that's something that you like or you're trying to simulate. And that's one thing about this game. A lot of people, go in and tweak their settings for their league to try to recreate certain things. Like for me, one of my favorite things that I used to do is I would try to recreate the late 1970s, like 77, 78, 79, early 80s, when you had guys that were hitting, challenging for 400, stealing 100 bases. That was the glory days of baseball to me, before steroids and everything else. And so that's the era of baseball that I was introduced to the game. So that's kind of where I go. Now, you may be younger and you may have come in the steroid era, and that's what you love. So, you can jack up the long ball and have that kind of steroid era feel, but you can lock that in to where it stays that way for the entire history of your replay. And just like Football Manager or any other career type game, you can play this out 20, 50, 100 years into the future. And, the players will age, they will retire, new players will come in. And they typically do, I have seen patches where they've updated rosters, at the trading deadline. FM18 just did that recently for the winter trade deadline. So you can actually choose that database if you start a new game. So similar to that, again, trying to draw some comparisons for some of my FM18 viewers that may not have checked this game out before. The early years, 1908, 1909 lineups for the historical database. So not only can you start with the real rosters that of this year, opening day is in a week and a half, you can also go back and play historical with all the way back now to 1908, 1909 with their real rosters. So, if you are a baseball historian and, you want to play with Babe Ruth when he was with the Boston Red Sox, when he was a starting pitcher, you can go back to that era and then play with him as a pitcher rather than a hitter. So just different things you can do. Okay, you can choose between opening day and end of season rosters. So end of season, of course, would be the end of last season at the end of the World Series. Opening day, of course, there's been some trades, retirements, what have you. You have that option as well. There was a lot of complaints with Out of the Park 18 with injuries. And so they've evidently added an extremely low injury setting to help tweak that down a little bit for people or for leagues that are having issues with that. All right, the middle mouse button now acts as a page back button. That's cool. There is a filter in the coaches list for available jobs, so that's new. Speed factor 1000 to real-time simulation speed selection. This is going to be good if you are like simming out a historical, or let's say that you wanted to, let's say you want to start your league in 1925, just to use a year, but you want to start playing in 1965. Well, you want to sim that 40 years to develop the history and have a 40-year history. So now it looks like it's a 1,000 times speed factor during the simulation. So that may make it sim faster, take less time. That'll be cool. Or that may, I don't know, that may only apply to the day-to-day simming, which still improves sim speed, certainly won't hurt. An exciting new online feature called Perfect Team. So it is not available yet, but it is an online feature, so probably some type of multiplayer. That's interesting. So anyway, that is the new stuff. Here's the release day information. They have already released, if you buy it today or after today, they're already at release 19.1.38. So, you know, they've already gone and put new updates into the game from their beta release, and adjusted Hall of Fame criteria, fixed uniform number assignments, adjusted free agent contract demands, couple of bugs. Oh, here we go. So you can buy it on Steam, and you can also buy it through a online seller called eCellerate, and I guess that's a licensing, because you get so many licenses. I think 2 licenses. Don't hold me to that, because it used to be 2. But anyway, eCellerate does not have those 5 extra fonts. That will be fixed next week. One thing that Marcus and his crew are great at is putting a lot of patches out. So, you know, if any issues that arise, you know, they'll be cranking those out. And, you know, it's not unusual to see, you know, 5 to 10 patches in the first couple of weeks. And it may just be for real, you know, it may be for something minor like a typo, a spelling error, you know, that they'll put, you know, that'll be one of the things that they'll fix if they, you know, that's what's found or reported by somebody. But, you know, they're very good at customer service, putting out a lot of patches to try to make sure anything that, you know, is found to be a little lacking is fixed. They kind of walk you through how to download it, who to email if you have issues, how to install, purchase the game. So anyway, it is up. It is on Steam. It is on Origin right now. So as I said, I did pull up the game. I hit load, and it had probably about 3 or 4 minutes of just installing stuff in the background before it gets to this screen. But this will pull up every time unless you uncheck the box, but you can get to the forums, videos about the game, tutorials, online manual, things of that nature. So you can get to that from here in the game. And I don't need to see that because I have all that bookmarked. And all right, so that's just a message. We're going to dismiss that. Sure, I'll help. I don't mind doing that. All right, well, there's your tutorials and whatnot. Disregard that. All right, so basically a perfect team. Here's what they talked about, a new thing coming up. So you compete in online leagues, create a dynasty, become a legend. So that's cool. That'll be on, I guess, a way to find online leagues, multiplayer leagues from within the game. that'll actually be pretty cool. In fact, I need to let my commissioner know about that. Historical game going all the way back to 1871. A new game with the current rosters or international rosters, so you could actually play like maybe the Japan League or something like that. It is compatible with OOTP19 saves, so you import from that game, and you can continue. You can set up historical exhibitions. So let's say the 1927 Murderers Row New York Yankees, and let's say the Texas Ranger. No, actually, probably let's say the Cleveland Indians of circa 2007-ish, I guess. Juan Gonzalez, Carlos Baerga, Pudge Rodriguez. I think that was around 2007. But, where they had, the big lineup of power hitters in Cleveland and before they broke it up. So, anyway, that is the game. It is out now. Buy it on Steam. Buy it on Origin. Accelerate if you want to just do a direct download from them and don't want to use Steam or Origin. What I will do is look out for a new video from me probably maybe this weekend. I need to load it up, play a little bit, check it out. I may do some spot recording in certain places if I see some interesting things. And, I will give an honest opinion of the game. That's one thing. They don't tell you have to say anything, but I do want to point out, as I said, I started playing this game version 3, so a long time ago. But you can see just in Steam, I've got 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Those are uninstalled now because I'm not doing anything. I need to uninstall 17. And honestly, I have gotten so busy with games and my YouTube channel and just in general. I don't play a lot of solo play with this, but I am involved with a multiplayer league. I actually just won the HBL series in the Heritage Baseball League is the name of our league, but it's an online multiplayer league. And I just won the World Series the season that just ended. We're in the draft section right now and getting ready to start defense of our title in the new season. So anyway, just wanted to show you that, hey, yes, I did get version 18 and 19 from the developer in exchange for doing these videos. But I am a longtime user of the game. Still have very, very fond memories of 6.5. I think that if you could only release this game one time, that probably would have been the perfect game. They've done a lot of things since then to make it better, but to me, that was the culmination of everything just seeming perfect to me as a player. And, but I still continue to buy the game every year, just like many of you do with Football Manager. Because it's a quality game. It's a detailed game. It's an in-depth game. Marcus, who is from Germany, is a huge baseball fanatic. And that's what got him making this game. And it has, it is the premier game, baseball game in the industry. In fact, speaking of Football Manager, I want to say that he partnered up. I seem to recall one year around version 13 or 14 that they partnered up with SI for a year to try to get some new technology into the coding and stuff. I don't recall being very happy with that. And but that was a short-lived experiment, and Marcus went back to handling everything himself, and that's how it should be. So Marcus and, his team has expanded over the years, but he's got a lot of guys there. Heck, Andreas is still there. And I remember Andreas we communicated. I actually ran a league at that time called the NBSL, and we were picked as the second best online league out of all leagues. I mean, you submitted your league, and I don't know how many, hundreds of leagues or whatever, and we won the silver medal as the second best one year. And Andreas was in charge of doing all that. So he goes way back. So, Marcus has expanded his team. A lot of these guys have now been with him for over a decade, some of them almost 2 decades now. But new release, new game. Check it out. Out of the Park 19 from Out of the Park Baseball. Check in the video description below. I will have links to the Steam page. I will have links to the forums. And I will put up a link as well to the release information if you want to take a more in-depth look at that. Guys, thanks for checking this out. Have a good one. Leave a like for the video. That'll help more people see it and become aware of the game if they are not already. And as I said, I will be coming out with a new video for OOTP19, actually with some gameplay. Probably won't be doing any live recording of it, but I may stream one weekend on Twitch. So I'll put my Twitch channel down in the description as well, and that may be something I can do here, maybe even this weekend. I probably won't be able to play till this weekend, so maybe we'll plan on that. Maybe we'll do an unboxing this weekend, and we'll start here. We'll create a game and kind of go through it and start playing a little bit and check it out together. Thanks again. Have a good one, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.